Final day of practice here at Lake Pickwick, and we've saved the best for last. The man of the hour, the guy everybody wants to know about, Randy Haynes. Randy, I got to tell you, I've talked to a lot of guys in the last few days. We've interviewed a lot of guys. They talk about having two depth finders and idling for hours and finding these giant mega schools. And I just want to tell you, that's all your fault. It's all your fault. No, really, Randy is such an innovator on what we've seen in this the electronics explosion and some of the finding these deeper schools of mega schools of fish. I know there's been other people involved, and I know you're not going to take sole credit for that. It's hard to deny that you haven't been an innovator in kind of what's happened here at Pickwick and the TVA, all the tournaments you've won. Tell us about it.
Well, I've always believed in staying ahead of the curve on electronics, and fortunate I have. But now I kind of feel like it's slipping away. It really is. The guys are catching up. I've went with a new company, Ray Marine, here recently, and I believe they're going to be ahead of the curve. And just trying some things to get back ahead. It obviously worked last week. The stage the fish was in at Kentucky Lake, but here at home, I'm afraid the fish are in a different stage, and it's going to be a tough one for me.
3 wins here on Pickwick, 2 wins over on Kentucky Lake. It seems when we get around these ledges, you don't ever let anybody get close to you. You just get every day your weight gets better. You seem to dial them in.
I have. I've been very fortunate. I've always picked the right place to start, and just get a feel for it. And I can't explain it. It just happens for me. One thing about it, I don't think about it. I just go fish, and that's unlike shallow fishing. I think that's where I get hung up. But here, it don't matter how tired I am. I just go do it, and it just seems like it always works out for me.
Talk a little bit about why. Several guys have told me that Pickwick Lake is the most perfect kind of laboratory for these new style electronics. The way the lake sets up, the way the school's set up really allows this new down imaging and side imaging to really shine on this type of lake.
Well, Pickwick is if it's obvious, they're usually there, and it's got numbers, and any time after 3 o'clock, they set up on them places. You can see them, then you turn around and catch them. And and they don't really move. These other lakes, they kind of move around, and here they set up and really just don't move none. Mm-hmm. So it's more perfect for that. If it shows it and it looks like it's traditional spot, it is.
But you've been able to take what you've learned here and go to other places, the Chickamaugas and the Kentucky Lakes, and apply what you've perfected on this lake anywhere up and down the TVA. Well, heck, even you follow where you won the FLW Tour last year.
Yeah, I was fortunate all in places, but it's the second place they moved to, or the third place they moved to, and where they like to hide. And I've been fortunate to find them places. But here, right now it's not lining up like yet. But yeah. It's where they move to. If they move deeper or shallower, or on the backside, or it's just stuff like that. I've been really fortunate to keep up with them.
It seems like where those fish are going before they do, so to speak. I mean, is that kind of what you try and do? You try and get in front of them and be there when they show up.
Well, I like to find where the major schools are, the big community host schools, and I like to try to figure out how to make them bite. Then I kind of, when they get pushed, I want to know where they get pushed to, and been fortunate, and that's what Rose has figured out, that where they get pushed to, and that's what I try to do is find them, and when they get left alone for a week or 2 weeks, that's the schools you can win on, and you're a nervous wreck because you're kind of keeping an eye on that spot, but you want to get away from it because you don't want to see nobody else on it, and if you can find in a spot like that, if you find one with other spots connected, that's when you win.
You are an innovator of what's been going on here. You mentioned a minute ago you always try and stay ahead of a curve. Some of the things you're staying ahead of the curve with right now, you mentioned Ray Marine. You're trying some of their new electronics that they have out on these freshwater lakes. Tell us a little bit how you set up. It looks like you run double units on the console and double units up front. Why is that, just briefly?
Well, I like watching big TVs, and that's, I love NASCAR, and, if you got a 30-inch TV, you can't see nothing, but a 50-inch TV, you can see the sweat dropping off his head. So I think that's the same way with electronics. But, I've run several different patterns, setups on my electronics. Sometimes I run more down imaging, sometimes I run more side imaging. I'm still playing. I play with it every day with that, but sometimes I'll run down imaging off the back on the front, and I still got it on the front, but sometimes them fish move around and you'll miss them on the front and get them on the back. It's several things, and I don't know. I'm very comfortable with that, and it's just like video cameras out, security cameras, and to me that's what it is. The higher security places got more cameras, and that's the way I look at it. More cameras.
Pretty interesting. Also, I know you're helping develop a bait line right now. A couple of, I think it's the Profound lures and some of the stuff you're doing, designing some of those deeper ledge baits that they help you win at Kentucky Lake.
Yeah, we're new baits are always awesome. I mean, I remember when Strike King came out first 6XD, and I was fortunate to get one, and it was a fish catching machine. Now, me and Timmy's came together and they've came out Profound Outdoors, and we've came out for the Z-Boss 20, which is mine and Timmy's bait. It's kind of in between several lures. It's very subtle. Throw it a country mile, and it's going to catch them. And later on, we're going to come out for a bigger bait and get them deeper depths, and it's going to be hopefully more subtle, and it's going to be awesome too.
You got a big jig too?
Yes, we got a jig. It's 3/4 1 ounce football jig. It's a Swamper's jig, through Profound too, and it's set up right too. I've been throwing it the last couple weeks, and man, I really to see a new bait company come out with stuff this good, this quick, is because it's tough to come out with something, because you usually got to go back to the drawing board, but they're seem like the first ones are right, because all the pros on the elites and FLW are both involved with this, and we know what we want, and we're putting it in these baits, and there's no expense. We're making sure everything's on these baits are right, no matter what it costs to get them right.
Over there at Kentucky Lake last week, got to the 27, 28 pound mark. Are we going to see a 30-pound bag here on Pickwick Lake this week?
I don't think so. I'm curious to see it myself, see what the weights were. Somebody's going to find a hidden scoop. This lake is too good. The college guys came over here, and man, they put out some weights, but I don't think we'll see that. Right now, I've had one good day, low 20s, then the rest of them are just terrible. I mean, I had an 8-pounder helped out that day, and tomorrow or Thursday, might be lucky to catch 12 pounds. So I even been asking what took get a check here last time, and I think the good check was, somebody told me it was like 12.5 pounds. So, that's going to be the first goal, and if it happens, it's meant to be. It's meant to be.
Sounds good. There it is, Randy Haynes, the guy that started this whole ledge fishing mania craze here on Pickwick. Keep an eye on him this week.